Oh na na na. Oh na na na. Oh na na na. Oh na na na.
In football, there is a common phrase that the midfield is where the game is won and lost. Typically, the big transfer fees were reserved for the attacking midfielders and those who are known to influence the game with the ball. But recently, we have seen the value of more defensive midfielders increase, and the next player I expect to continue this trend is Amadou Onana. During the summer of 2022, Aurelien Tchouameni left Monaco for Real Madrid in a deal worth up to 100 million euros after a three-way fight between them, Liverpool and PSG. In the following summer, during 2023, Declan Rice moved to Arsenal for £105 million after Manchester City had bid 90 million for the former West Ham midfielder. In the same window, Chelsea broke the Premier League transfer record when they signed Moises Caicedo for a deal worth up to £115 million. This was after Liverpool had their own record bid accepted by Brighton, which was worth up to £111 million in an attempted hijack. These three separate deals showed the increasing value and demand of high-quality defensive midfielders in the transfer market and the lengths to which top clubs will go to attain their signature. The first time I took notice of Onana was the first leg of Chelsea's UCL round of 16 game against Lille. Physically, he stood out, but there was one instance in particular in which he grabbed my attention. It was when Chelsea midfield phenom N'Golo Kante was making one of his trademark runs from midfield, and just as he was approaching Lille's defense, Amadou Onana dived in and won the ball with an excellent sliding challenge, an impressive feat that I will expand upon later in the video. Before Onana signed for Everton, West Ham had agreed a fee with Lille for the midfielder. But after the Belgian talked to then Everton manager Frank Lampard, the Merseyside club swooped in to hijack the deal. This is interesting because West Ham were either planning to bring in Onana as the eventual replacement for Declan Rice, or to pair them together in a pivot, both of which are intelligent squad building. Now let's take a look at the player. Defensively, Amadou Onana is an imposing figure in the middle of the park, standing at 6'4". And he is a part of the growing trend of tall players who are also exceptionally quick, which is a great asset for him when covering ground. Onana uses his large frame in standing tackles to win the ball back. He looks to get himself in between the ball and his opponent to win it back without conceding a foul. And even though he is not as clean in standing tackles like N'Golo Kante or Declan Rice, he still shows good appreciation of angles when attempting them. Where Onana really stands out with his defensive repertoire is his sliding tackles. The octopus nature of how he wins it back due to his long legs is sometimes astonishing. The flexibility and leg dexterity that he displays from both left and right angles can even leave his opponents bewildered sometimes. In my opinion, he is already one of the best in the world in this aspect. Even though it is his superpower, I feel like Onana is prone to go into ground a bit too easily sometimes, which causes needless fouls to be conceded, which can be a problem if it's in a dangerous area for his side. There is also potential for him to be carded if the referee sees his sliding challenge as dangerous. So even though I think he's excellent at them, I believe he doesn't have to go to ground as frequently as he does. Positionally, Onana is sound when screening the back four and tracking runners out wide. He shows good anticipation on reading the opponent's next pass to intercept and start a potential counter-attack. He possesses a good sense of when to form double teams on an opponent to retrieve possession and break up play. And I expect his reading of the game to only improve further as he gains more experience. Onana is prone to ball watch sometimes, which causes him to be caught out in certain scenarios. He has great recovery pace to bail him out of these scenarios, but improving his ability to sniff out danger, in which prime Casemiro was renowned for, will limit risks much further. Amadou Onana's aerial threat is significant. He uses his height well to regularly dominate challenges in the air. Everton also use him as an outlet during goal kicks so he can win the first ball, to allow his side to be in a favourable situation in attack and second balls. He can also be a source of flick-ons when his side is chasing the game, to provide a direct route to the opposition's goal. He is a target during set pieces as well, and has shown his ability to get goals during these scenarios, and I expect him to only improve in this department as he begins to reach his physical peak. There is a common misconception about Onana that because he is physically gifted and stands out defensively, that he is subpar on the ball. He consistently makes himself available in the first phase to receive the ball from the centre backs or goalkeeper, and when he gets the ball, he showcases a good half turn to beat the initial pressure and face play. He is also good at playing it around the corner to help progress play, and he circulates it well in the middle of the pitch so his side retains possession. After completing a pass, he moves really well to free himself to be available for the next one. This is encouraging because along with his technical proficiency, this showcases his suitability to a side that will have the lion's share of possession. An area I believe he has to improve on is the weight of his progressive passes. He can break lines and has the technique for it, but the execution sometimes is lacking. With time, I expect this flaw to be ironed out. Amadou Onana's long passing is underrated, and I believe it is an underutilized tool in his passing arsenal. He generates good power and accuracy with them and zips it towards teammates. They occasionally can be wayward due to him overhitting them, but his switches of play are generally good. He also likes to attempt clip passes behind defenses, but these are less consistent due to the increased difficulty and progressiveness. Amadou Onana possesses good press resistance when receiving the ball in the first third. He is uniquely agile on the half turn and he shields it well from opponents when pressured. His ability to turn in different directions afford him a sense of unpredictability so that he is difficult to dispossess. Onana's dribbling in tight areas is sharp and incisive. He does not waste his touches and looks to move it on quickly when beating his man. Now, he isn't on the level of his compatriot and former Belgian international Moussa Dembele in this regard, who are special in terms of 1v1s and press resistance, but it's certainly no weakness for Amadou Onana. In terms of his ball carrying over longer distances, he is the type of player that makes the pitch look small. Due to his long strides, Onana can easily carry the ball from one end to another. It is difficult for opponents to stop him when he gets going without conceding a foul, which is to the advantage of his side. What he can do to amplify his goal threat after carrying the ball is by adding a consistent final ball. N'Golo Kante, who was an excellent ball carrier, had a sneaky final ball after arriving in the final third. And if Amadou Onana can develop a similar penchant, it will only be more dangerous for the opposition as he bears down on them. Goal threat and finishing in open play is Onana's clear weakness, as complete as he is. It is not currently on the level of the two elite defensive midfielders in the Premier League in Rodri and Declan Rice. Even when he initially joined Everton, playing as a box-to-box number 8, his goal impact was minimal outside of set pieces. This has been the case throughout his young career and it's difficult to predict if it will change significantly. Will it improve in a more dominant side? Yes, but it remains to be seen if he will be able to match the elites, who are currently getting up to 10 goals in a season. Ultimately, I do believe he has the potential for it. One of the reasons why I believe Amadou Onana will be highly sought after is how well he complements the midfields of major European teams and the amount of teams who would benefit with his addition. Firstly, Barcelona, a team he has already been strongly linked to throughout the year, and a team with fantastic number 8s. such as Pedri and Gundogan, but they've struggled over the years to find that balance in midfield, and his addition at the base can add the security needed for the attacking players to flourish. More recently, there has been rumours that Arsenal are set to make a move for him as a potential replacement for Thomas Partey. Also someone who can rotate with Declan Rice, who plays almost every game. The prospect of him forming a twin tower double pivot with Rice would be frightening, as the best defence in the Premier League becomes even stronger. He has also been linked to Manchester United as they look to embark on their first full season with Ineos in charge on the footballing end. Amadou Onana would form a formidable midfield with United's emerging star Kobbie Mainoo, as their skill sets provide a great balance in midfield, with him being able to reinforce the defensive end. In the biggest of Champions League and Premier League games, when the likes of Mbappe, Vinicius and Musiala are causing chaos in transition, Amadou Onana is the exact type of midfielder you'd want to try and stop them, with his complete skill set and the intangibles such as leadership, which teammate Alex Iwobi mentioned. In an era where defensive midfielders are going for 100 million, Amadou Onana could represent a bargain for any top side.